Everybody has heard about dropshipping. But what is Etsy dropshipping? So in this video, I'm going to be explaining exactly how Etsy dropshipping works, exactly what scaling strategies that we use, and how complete beginners with zero previous experience in e-commerce are doing $5,000, $10,000, even $20,000 a month online with this business model. So firstly, let's talk about why Etsy dropshipping is such a beginner-friendly business model. Because Etsy is a platform, it has built-in traffic, so you don't need to run ads on day one. You have much lower startup costs, which means you don't need a subscription or you don't need $1,000 to run ads. It's a much simpler learning curve because Etsy already just takes care of all the technical stuff for you. And there's also proof of concept, which means, you can test products without having to build a brand in the beginning. And this is exactly why so many beginners who are starting out with Etsy dropshipping get a sale within their first week, within the first couple of days of actually doing Etsy dropshipping. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So it all starts with the business owner. So the business owner will create an Etsy buyer account. Now keep in mind, a buyer account is actually different to an Etsy seller account. So after creating an Etsy buyer account, you want to be warming the buyer account for a minimum of 2 days. This consists of obviously browsing around the market, clicking on listings and favoriting items, understanding the Etsy's algorithm and platform to see what type of products sell. So after warming the account for a minimum of 2 days, you want to be creating your Etsy seller account. Your Etsy seller account is what you'll be basically selling on. Then you want to be choosing the niche to sell in. So some of the best selling niches are home decor, garden decor, women's fashion, accessories, and digital products. Now, you want to be doing product research. So to do product research, you want to be finding the trending or best-selling products on Etsy. So personally, in my coaching program, we actually offer 3 different types of product research methods, which validate the products to make sure that you're selling the best products on Etsy. So the 3 different types of product research methods that we teach is 1, the bestseller method, 2, the review method, and 3, finding the bestsellers on external platforms such as AliExpress, Alibaba, Shein, Temu, and much more. After you do your product research, what you want to do is list the product to your Etsy seller account. So when you list a product to your Etsy seller account, first want to be finding out the COGS for that product. Now COGS mean cost of goods. So for example, if your cost of goods is $25, including shipping, you want to be selling that item for a 3 to 5x margin for your sale price, which means if my COGS for this item is $25, I should be selling it at retail price of $100. So then after you finish listing your product, so using our SEO strategies, using our pricing point strategies, description, title, tags, and so on, you inevitably will get your first sale. When the customer actually purchases your product, the customer will purchase your item for the retail price of $100. Then they'll pay you directly via Etsy, and you now have the customer's info. So you have their name, their address, and their product details. So after you get your first sale, you want to be connecting your Etsy store to a Chinese private supplier, which we provide actually in my Etsy dropshipping program. So once you connect your Chinese private supplier to fulfill the product, the supplier will ship out the product to the customer's address, while you only have to pay for the initial $25, which is for the COGS, wholesale price of the product that you sold. So now all of you may be wondering, how does the supplier actually fulfill the product? How is the supply chain? Well, I'm going to actually explain it now. How does Etsy dropshipping actually work? So you obviously have the customer, which places your order on Etsy and pays you a retail price of $100. Then step 2, your store will send an order to your private Chinese supplier, and then they will pay the wholesale price of $25, including shipping. So step 3, the supplier will prepare your customer's order from a Chinese manufacturer. And then step 4, the Chinese manufacturer will ship straight to the customer's address without you having to touch the product or deal with the product. So you're basically getting an order on your Etsy store without having any inventory or any stock. Then the Chinese supplier will actually log into your Etsy account. He'll have partial access. He'll look at the order, see where it's coming from, and then he'll contact his Chinese manufacturer to ship it out to the customer's address without you having to deal with the product, touch the product, or actually handling it physically, which means, no manual fulfillment. And that way, once you get, a lot of orders in per day, you actually save a lot of time and a lot of money. So now for the best part, let's dive into the profit margins. So with the profit margins on Etsy dropshipping, you have the net revenue, which is the sale price of how much you sold the product for, which is $100. Then you have the expenses. So you have COGS, the cost of goods, including shipping, which would be $25 if you have a 4x margin in return. Then you have the transaction fees on Etsy, which is actually 6.5%. So you have your $100 sale price. Then you want to be minusing $25 for COGS, and then $6.50 for the transaction fees, which brings you to a total of $68.50 profit from that one $100 sale, which means your profit margin percentage is 68%, which is extremely high, and you can't get that anywhere else with e-commerce on any other platforms. You got your first sale on Etsy, congratulations. Now you know the profit margins as well. And now, how do we actually scale our Etsy stores so we can get multiple orders in per day? So with Etsy, we have two different types of scaling methods. We have first, vertical scaling, and then second, horizontal scaling. So vertical scaling consists of, just having one Etsy store. You have one really strong winning product, and you want to be scaling that product vertically. So it's kind of looks like this. And then, you really want to be doubling down on that one Etsy store with that one winning product. You really want to be scaling the budget for the ads, and that's how you scale vertically. Now let's talk about horizontal scaling. So horizontal scaling, you have, multiple different Etsy stores with multiple different winning products, and you don't scale it as high as a vertical scaling. Now what you want to be doing is having 3, maybe 5, 10, even 20 Etsy stores, having them at a low scale and then scaling horizontally. So it kind of looks like this. Which one is better and why? So with vertical scaling, you're maximizing what already works. So you're adding more listings to similar products in the same niche to dominate keyword searches, increasing ad spend on already profitable listings. But then with horizontal scaling, you're duplicating across multiple new stores and niches. So you're opening 2 to 10 more Etsy stores, targeting different niches, using the exact same product research and SEO blueprint for each store. You're testing multiple or completely different product categories, for example, home decor, jewelry, print on demand, stuff like that. So personally, in my Etsy dropshipping program, we actually teach horizontal scaling as it's much more sustainable. You can actually test more products, test more niches, find what really works, and also it's much lower risk. For example, if one of your Etsy stores gets banned and you're vertically scaling, you have no other income coming in. However, with horizontal scaling, let's say you have one Etsy store that gets banned. If you have 5, 10, even 20 other Etsy stores all printing, making you money at the same time, it doesn't really matter. You're at much lower risk and you have a much higher chance of succeeding, especially when Q4 comes around. So now, let's actually talk about how much you can actually earn with Etsy dropshipping per week. Let's say one of your Etsy stores gets 3 sales a day, which is honestly super conservative. 3 sales a day is nothing. Anyone who is watching this video has the capability of getting at least 3 sales minimum a day on your Etsy stores. So for example, if you have 60, 70, 80 listings, there is literally a 100% chance that 3 out of those 80 listings that you have on your Etsy stores are going to get a sale each day. So let's say you get 3 sales a day on one of your Etsy stores and you have an AOV, which means average order value of $100. That means revenue, you're doing $300 a day. You have COGS, which is cost of goods plus shipping. So you have $25 times by 3 because you're getting 3 sales a day, which is $75. Then you have Etsy's transaction fees, which is 6.5%. So times that by 300, and then you get $19.50. So your total profits comes out to $300 in revenue, minus $75 for COGS, minus $19.50 for transaction fees, and then you come out to a total of $205 in profit per day, which is a total of $1,438 per week. Now think about it, guys. That's literally just with one Etsy store. Think about if you're actually horizontally scaling, you have 5 different Etsy stores lined up. You have 5 Etsy stores, and all 5 of those Etsy stores gets 3 sales a day. That means you have an AOV of, let's say, $100. You have revenue, which is $1,500 a day in revenue. You have COGS, cost of goods plus shipping, which would be $375. Transaction fees, which is $97.50. That means when you're calculating the total profit, you have $1,500 a day in revenue minus $375 minus $97.50, which comes out to $1,027 in straight net profit per day, which is $7,192.50 profit per week. So literally all you guys need to do is get 3 sales per day on 5 of your Etsy stores, and you have the potential to be making $7,100 in profit every single week passively using my strategies that I provide in my program. It's literally that easy, guys. And if you're still skeptical of starting, I've helped multiple clients do the same. So for example, Kieran, who did $4,600 in his first month. Kieran is a professional rugby player who managed to make $4,600 in his first month and was offered a scholarship to the United States for rugby. Now he plays in the US rugby team while making money online, only working 10 hours per week. George, who made it $6,000 in his first 45 days of working with me. Leo, who made $8,600 in his first 60 days of working with me also. Marlene, €2,700 in her first 30 days. Clara, $5,000 in her first month. And many other testimonials. For example, you can see here, one of my clients printing every single minute of the day. You have Clara, again, with a record week of $3,000 with literally just one Etsy store. Cody, who literally joined a couple of weeks ago, already making $500 a week, and many, many more other testimonials. So that is the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. So in this video, we covered how exactly Etsy dropshipping works from A to Z. So if you're a complete beginner looking to get into e-commerce, I can guarantee you that Etsy dropshipping is by far the easiest business model to actually get sales and to actually get started in. If you found this content super helpful, then smash that like button. Please give me a subscribe on YouTube, as I'll be posting a lot more content in the future about Etsy dropshipping and e-commerce just in general. And if you actually want to apply getting one-on-one mentored by me personally, then you can actually reach out to my Instagram and DM me the word easy, and I'll personally help you out. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace.